So second time I am coming to speak. So thank you. My topic is origin, creation of universe. As you all can see, it's related to science, it's related to literature, it's related to theology. So what Brother Alec was saying, it's only about science, not just about science. It's for everyone. I can move on. This is a brief outline. You heard the word of God from Genesis and 2 Peter. And I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. Then an interesting thing, we'll watch a video where Morgan Freeman will be speaking. I hope you know him. Then we'll talk about literature, about Dan Brown. And I don't know how many of you are aware, he just published a new novel last month. How many of you are aware? Have you read it? No? No literature students here? So, and then science, we'll talk about cosmology. I hope physics students are there, I don't know, here. Then we'll talk about theology. It is the creation part. Then I'll try to give a synthesis of all the literature and science and theology. And finally I'll let you know why I have given this message to you on my references. So next. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 to 4. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 5 to 8, which you have already heard. So we can go next. Just a brief introduction about myself. I am from Tripura. I see some of my brothers and sisters from Tripura also here. Who all are from Tripura here? I see them all. They have come with me first time here. No, Dr. Avajit has come here second time with me. And Susmita and Kaksanti, first time? Not first time, they have come before. Susmita first time. So you come here and have a fellowship. Brother Alec, you can call them. You have a Christmas and bonfire, which is very interesting. I was hoping I can come, but then I am a speaker again in some place on Saturday. So, but I don't know where is the bonfire. Where is Alec? What time is the bonfire? 6. Maybe I will come. So let's see. So okay, about me, I am from Tripura. I speak Kokboro. That's our language, the Tripuri guys. I am studied in Holy Cross School, Agartala, ISC. I have done computer science and engineering. So I have some science background. Then I did MBA from IIM Lucknow. I have spent one semester in MA Economics, Delhi School of Economics. So if you see, I have just written down, I have studied all science, commerce, arts. So what is pending? I just wrote there also. Theology is pending. So I'm planning to join next year maybe, if God wills. Maybe distance or maybe full time. Wait. Give me just 1 minute. I don't want to be self-gloating, but just a bio. And yeah, I'm in IRS, so I cleared the UPSC civil service in 2012. All India rank you can see. I chose IRS over IPS. I was getting IPS, but I was thinking I'm not physically that strong. So I chose IRS, which is office work, but it also, after joining I realized it is also field work. Income tax raid you must have heard, right? So we spent 2-3 days without sleep there also. So I'm in Indian Revenue Service. Those who are interested in UPSC civil service, I know from NEHU, a lot of people write, so you can contact me. I'll leave my contact number. I'm married. I have one daughter. She's 3.5 years old. I came to EU through in my engineering college. We used to call it NEHU. NIT means National Institute of Technology Jalandhar. I attended CMTC in 2004, Palapur. So I hope some of you have attended CMTC. Any of you from here?
Yes.
Some of you have now. So please attend, those who want to attend. CMTC is 2 weeks camp. It's the largest possible time duration of a camp in EU. Then I was a member in North India Coordination Committee of USA. And currently I'm involved with TCF, Tripura Christian Fellowship. I founded a church in Delhi TCF Delhi. Now I am in TCF Shillong and I am auditor of TCF. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. Next, we'll go to the interesting part. We'll watch the video. It's a just 5-minute short video. Morgan Freeman's there. I hope all of you know. He acted as God. Remember in which movie? Anyone? Film quiz. Nobody remembers?
Don't remember.
Nobody watches Hollywood? He's all right. Good brother, you know. He acted as God, right? Yeah. So anyway, you listen to God's voice. I mean, just not God's voice. It's a science video, so just to warm up to the topic.
We travel 10 times taller from this, and our view of the universe is 10 times wider. The 100-meter range surrounds St. Barma, and 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer, the city center. As our speed increases, 4 steps, 4 powers of 10, reveal all the islands of Venice, the Adriatic Sea, and the main our Lord will be measured in light years.
Sorry for that. I think it was lighting problem. If you want to watch it again, you can watch. Otherwise, you can continue. We'll continue, right? You got the sense of what the video was. Finally, you saw. It was just that Earth is just a small, minute, not even anything in the universe. Sorry for that. You can take the video from Brother Alec. Alec, we give them the video. Because and Morgan Freeman's voice also was not audible, so I think you can listen to it in your rooms. It's from YouTube, you can easily get it. The video is named Cosmic Voice. I just wanted to show you that video to just see, like how the universe is so big. I mean, like the Earth is not even visible in the full picture of the universe. Next. Okay, Dan Brown. Okay, before I go to Dan Brown, I want to ask, just to do a survey. How many are science students? Lift your hands. Okay. How many commerce? Any commerce start in NEHU? Yes, right? MBA, commerce. Hands? Okay, one only. MBA? MCom, good. And then arts? Okay, so what are the rest? I'm here. I didn't see all the hands of the house. Is there anything I'm missing? Science, arts, commerce, right? Okay. Anyway, good. So science. I saw this. There are more science students than art students, like that. Let's see again the hands. Let's see the competition. Science. Okay. Art. Okay. Science. Just 1 or 2%. I think the boys. Okay, it's coming here. Okay, good. Last survey, okay. How many masters? I mean, master's students? Okay, majority. PhD? No PhD? Oh, I forgot to bring my delivery brother. He's doing some shopping outside, I don't know why. I called him to come here. Okay, next time. Okay, so all are master's students, mostly. Okay, so Dan Brown. How many of you have heard of Dan Brown? Again, show of hands. How many have read Dan Brown? Only 1 or 2. But how many have seen the movies of Dan Brown? Tom Hanks, Robert Langdon, Da Vinci Code. Yeah, everyone has seen it, I guess. Angels and Demons, Inferno. Very famous, right? I don't think anybody has missed in the last 10 years. Otherwise, you are living I don't know where. If you watch movies, okay, these are very interesting movies. Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code, Inferno, and just last month he published his next novel, Origin. So that's how the topic comes actually. I read his novel as soon as they come out within 1 or 2 weeks. So last time I was in Shillong only, 5 years back, when he introduced Inferno. I borrowed it from a library from Limukra. You can borrow, books from Limukra for just, I don't know how much was it, 100 rupees or something. Anybody know Sushmita, there's a library just near that market. So all the if you don't want to buy, you can borrow, or otherwise, now it's digital age. Last time, Origin came just last month, so I bought it in Kindle. It was only 60 rupees. And I read it on my mobile. Just 1 day's investment. So why I was talking about Dan Brown is, there's a quote you can read, all of you. It's by Pastor Carl Lenz. He is the pastor of Hillsong Church, New York City. How many of you know about Hillsong Church, New York City? Again, show of hands. No? You know? You know what Pastor Carl Lenz? No. You know what Justin Bieber? How many of you don't know Justin Bieber? Show of hands. I think everyone knows Justin Bieber, right? So that is the church he goes to, Hillsong Church, New York City. He got baptized in that church just 2 years back through this pastor. So it's a very influential church in New York City, around 8,000 members. The pastor is very good. You go and see the YouTube videos. The church is like attracting everyone of all the hipsters they call in New York City, and all the celebrities. Even Selena Gomez goes there. I know some people are laughing. They know the background. And many of the And they have opened, Hillsong Church has opened another church in Los Angeles. So now they are targeting Hollywood, right at the center. So I know everyone knows about Hillsong, right? Australia. That's how all this new worship, singing and whatever we are singing, they were the trendsetters. So now they are reaching USA. So why I wanted to talk about Dan Brown is, he made a quote. I was watching a YouTube video last month. He made a quote. He said, I am conscious of culture, but I am not conforming to it. So how he's reaching, how Hillsong is reaching so many of the hipsters and all, whatever, New York and LA crowd, those who have lost touch with the church, how they are reaching is, they're conscious of culture. And what is culture is not only like dress, food, music, even literature, movies. These are all culture, right? So our churches and our fellowship should not be, we should be aware of culture, what's happening in the culture. So that's how I wanted to talk about Dan Brown. And I know many of you have seen movies, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci, Dan Brown. I want to ask any of you, which is your favorite Robert Langdon video? Anyone volunteer? Movies?
Hi.
You have seen? Tom Hanks. Just want to ask you, sister, you have seen any of the movies? Who was the one who said about Morgan Freeman, Bruce Almighty? Have you seen any of Robert Langdon's movies? Tom Hanks, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci, Inferno, huh? Angels and Demons is favorite. That's the only one you've seen. Oh, I think you should all be a bit more aware of culture. You should watch movies. Study also. I don't know, when I was in campus, we used to watch movies every day. I don't know, you have like internal LAN where you have movies. I believe every university has that, internal LAN. So LAN means that database of movies. So I think you should watch. You should be aware of what is happening in culture, because when Da Vinci Code came, it was very controversial. So Angels and Demons, Inferno, they are all very controversial. Dan Brown is actually, he writes controversial topics, mostly related to religion, but many of his novels are a bit anti-religion. But it's a good starting point, to know what's happening in culture, because many of your secular friends and other non-believers who believe, who will be reading these things will definitely want to talk to you about these books. And Dan Brown has written his Origin. That's currently the bestseller. Pretty soon you will start hearing about it. Here he did talk about evolution and creation. So that's how I started my topic. So let's go to a little bit boring part, science. But I know there are many science students here, right? Just I wanted to, as per my outline, I just wanted to give a brief outline. Just a few slides only, pictures only, nothing else. What is in the science currently they are being taught about the universe, creation of the universe. I'm not going to evolution, I'm going to the universe, even the beginning of the universe. So cosmology. How many physics students? Again, show of hands. Physics? No one? Yeah, 2 people. I should call you in front. Have you heard of cosmology? Yeah? Yes? Oh. I was studying physics until 12. No, even in engineering we studied. But this is what I learned from YouTube and all. So, brother, why don't you just stand up a bit? I don't want to embarrass you, but so in physics, have you studied cosmology?
We haven't studied it, but
Is there in the subject?
no, not in the syllabus.
It's not in the syllabus. It's out of syllabus. Oh, it's beyond your syllabus. Outside. Oh, good. So it's beyond master's syllabus? I'm talking about PhD level here.
Not so sure.
Maybe you have not seen the syllabus. Sit down. Okay, anyway, I don't know whether it is taught in the syllabus, but this is what cosmology is currently in US, in Berkeley, Stanford. They teach, I've seen the YouTube videos, so that's why I was saying. So currently universe, as per science, okay? Just for your general knowledge, don't be bored. Just watch the pictures, okay? As per science, universe, I know my physics brother will say, Big Bang, right? That's how universe is created. Started. And today I'll give them enlightenment. The science says universe will end as a big rip or a big crunch. Notice here. Okay. This is something I discovered new, and I don't know my physics friends and all of you also maybe. You knew the universe will end? Yes? Wow, good. From the Bible or from science? From physics or Bible? That's what I want to know. From book. Good, good. So you are ahead of me. So anyway, that's what cosmology, that's a sub branch of physics says. Universe started as Big Bang. It will end in a big crunch or big rip. That's the theory. Just next. This is Big Bang. Nothing. It's not visible properly, but as per Big Bang theory is a serial. Huh? Again, show of hands. How many have seen it? Big Bang theory? No. Are you not conscious of culture? You should know what is going on in culture. It's a TV serial. Big Bang theory is very famous. What is that? Sheldon Cooper? Yes, I am hearing many people. And what is his friend's name? Roommate's name? Huh? Leonard Hofstadter. Both are physicists in where is it? Caltech. Okay, good. So you should watch. Who has not watched it should watch. Very interesting. It has nothing related to science. Only they are working as scientists, but the rest is all revolves around one lady who they are behind and etc. Okay, so Big Bang theory just says that universe was started 13.7 billion years ago. In science, as per physics, they have calculated it. The universe started 13.7 billion years ago. It started as a Big Bang, as a small point, and the universe is expanding. They don't know where it is ending now. But currently this circle, that is where we are. Next. And this is the next, this is a model. I know science students know model. And this model is called lambda cold dark matter. So why I showed this model was, you have read Genesis 1 to 4, right? Sister, I don't know what's her name. Who read it? Can she read it again? Sister, what's your name? You can come. I don't want to embarrass you. Okay. Just read 3 and 4.
Genesis 1, 3 and 4 says, And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness.
So if you have heard of it, that verse in Genesis talks about light and darkness. Verse 4, I don't know whether you've heard it properly. You can see in your Bible afterwards. God separated light from darkness. And He called light, He called darkness. So that's how I want to relate to you. Big Bang starts, then there is light. But there is light and darkness. And as per science, cosmology, physics brothers, you're sleeping. You know what dark matter? You know what dark energy? No. You haven't reached that level. You should read more. Lambda cold dark matter model. Okay, you ask your professor tomorrow whether they know it. So this is the model of universe currently, the accepted model, where it says lambda is actually just shortcut for dark energy. So currently universe consists of 73% dark energy. Dark energy means they don't know what is that energy. Okay, that's why it's called dark. The scientists do not know what is that energy. 23% consists of dark matter. Dark matter is why? Because dark means scientists do not know what is that matter. I mean, what is that thing? Isn't it? Matter is thing. Right? So they don't know. That means what is the percentage, physics brother, which science doesn't know? 96% of universe is unknown to the scientists. What we know is 3.6% is gas and 0.4% is stars, etc., human, earth, etc. That's it. as per science, what we know presently is just 4% of the universe. The rest, dark energy, dark matter, is unknown. I just wanted to show you because what is fact. Next. So this is how universe will end. There are two theories: Big Crunch and next one, Big Rip. Quickly we'll go through. It's saying that I know it's not visible in the slide, but I'll tell you what's there in the slide is. See, now we are how many years? Quiz. I want to see who is awake. Where is that commerce guy? How many years ago was the universe created? Just few minutes back I said.
13 billion.
Huh? 13 billion years ago, right?
Billion.
So that is now. 13 billion years ago. So now, okay. And in cosmology, physics guy. You remember this, tomorrow you ask your professor. 22 billion years from now, universe will end, as per science, cosmology. They have made a prediction. I don't know how. So all of you ask your physics brother. So they have said that 22 billion years after, the universe will end. And how it will end is because, atoms, because the universe is expanding. I know he knows, Big Bang theory. Universe is expanding, it will expand so much, there will be no energy left, no gravitation, I don't know what is it. So atoms will burst, or it will explode. And this is the theory. I'm not just, it's not magic, okay? You may be thinking I'm saying something, but this is science. So this is cosmology, okay? So now next. That was it. That was all science. I hope you remember. Big Bang. I'll give a summary afterwards. So now let's go next. Now we'll go to theology. Okay. Now it involves a bit of more participation from you. Let's open our Bibles and read the full passage. I want all of you who have the Bible to read the passage. Let's open. So, you want me to read or let's have a volunteer? Let's have a volunteer. Susmita is sleeping. No, I won't call you. Okay. Let's see. Art student? How many? Literature? Anyone literature? Now be honest, okay. No literature student? Anyone? No? What is next? Philosophy? Is that subject taught here in I guess so, right? Any volunteers from arts? I saw a lot of art students were congregated here somewhere. you are arts? Yes? English? That is literature. No? See? 6 cents. Come. No, I have the Bible. You can read it. You are hiding. I should literature. English is literature, right? Okay. Genesis 1:1 to 4. Okay. Will you able to be here? Or will you use the mobile?
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it, and it was so. God called the expanse sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground to appear," and it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it according to the various kinds, and it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to the kinds, and trees bearing fruit which seed in it according to the kinds, and God saw it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. And God said, Let there be light in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark the seasons and days and years. And let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, and it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the water across the expanse of the sky. So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living and moving thing with which the water teems, according to the kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, Let the land produce living creatures according to the kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to the kinds, the livestock according to the kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to the kinds, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the earth, and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created man in his own image, in the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day God had finished the work he had been doing, so on the seventh day he rested from all his work. And God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And no shrub of the field had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up.
Thank you. That was a very long one, but I wanted everyone to read because it is very essential that we know this account. I know everybody has read it before also maybe, but I wanted all of you to read the creation story. This is the creation story, and that's how our Bible starts. So I will not ask for a volunteer this time. Next verse, next chapter. It is the second physics guy who has not spoken anything. Please come here. I don't have that. You have that? Okay, I love you. So the first reading was the creation. The second reading is the uncreation, the destruction. So just read it.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 1 to 17. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 1 to 17. the day of the Lord. Dear friends, this is how my second letter to you. I have written both of them as reminders to stimulate you wholesome thinking. I want you to recall the words spoken in the past by the holy prophets and the command given by our Lord and Savior through your apostles. First of all, you must understand that in the last days scoffers will come, scoffing and following their own evil desires. They will say, "Where is the coming he promised?" Ever since our fathers died, everything goes on as it has since the beginning of creation. But they deliberately forget that long ago by God's word, the heavens existed and the earth was formed out of water and by water. By these waters also the world of that time was deluged and destroyed. But the same word of present heavens and earth are reserved for the being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of ungodly men. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like the day. The Lord is now slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar, the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what land of people ought you to be? You ought to live holy and godly lives as you look forward to the day of God and Spirit is coming. That day will bring about the destruction of the heavens by fire, and the elements will melt in the heat. But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth and home of righteousness. So then, dear friends, since you are looking forward to this, make every effort to be found spotless, blameless, and at peace with him. Bear in mind that our Lord's passions must mean salvation, just as our dear brother Paul also wrote to you with the wisdom of God gave him. He writes the same way in all his letters, speaking in them of these matters. His letters contain some things that are hard to understand, which ignorant and unstable people distort, as they do the other scriptures to their own destructions. Therefore, dear friends, since you already know this, be on your guard so that you may not be carried away by the error of lawless men and fall from your secure position.
Thank you so much. What's your name? Chicha. Doing physics? Which year? First semester. Okay. Long way to go. You asked your professor. Whether it is taught, I don't know in NEHU, at cosmology. And whether they know, like, there is the end of universe, as per science actually. So our brother, he just read Peter, his theology. I hope you have all heard that there is an end of universe. And just like a few slides back I showed in that one, that you just go that big rib. This one. Next. So if you have noticed, if you remember 2 Peter verse 3, chapter 3, somewhere in around, I think 14 or 15, heavens will melt, earth will be destroyed. I mean, if you read that verse, you can see that even the scientists are going towards that. Next. So now, to the main part of our talk. I don't know, I don't want to take too much time, but it is just a brief summary of, next slide. This is a brief summary of all the creation theory as per the Bible. In the first part, what I was talking about was as per physics, as per cosmology. That may have been boring or they may have been interesting, but this part is you should read, you should understand and apply your mind, because this is as per Bible. This is the interpretation of Bible. So there are 5 main creation theories. Old earth, young earth. Can anybody tell me what is old earth and young earth? Quiz. Whom should I go to? Next. I have talked to science guys, I have talked to Arts guys, commerce guys. Nobody's left, no? Engineering? Anybody engineering? Yes, I'm hearing yes. Where? Huh? Alec is engineering. Oh, where is he? Alec, what is old earth and young earth? Come here. I want you to know from you. Where are you? Say, no, what is old earth and young earth?
It is an interpretation that some believe in the billion years old, right? Some believe in the Bible that is 6,000 years old.
Okay, thank you. You know everything. Good. Right person. So, if you have heard him, I don't know, I know many of you may not know it, or you may know it. Old earth and young earth, both are biblical actually, Alec. So, it's only interpretation. Okay, young earth is not the only biblical thing. Old earth, young earth are both biblical. That's why it's called creation theory, right? So, only thing is, interpretation is old earth, people say that, as per science, what is the facts? Earth is billion years. Physics guy, I don't know, how many years is the Earth age? This I didn't put in my PPT. I forgot. How many years? Universe is how many years? Just our commerce guy say. What's your name? Huh? Okay. You know how many years is the age of the Earth? Any idea? As per science. But if the physics guy doesn't tell me, he's failing this first semester. Tell me, where is he? One of them. Make a guess. I don't know, I forgot. You will be correct, whatever you tell. Huh? No idea. Just Google it, no, tell me. Huh? You saying something? 6 to 8 billion? I don't know, just Google it, no? You let me know. Otherwise you will fail your semester. This is a basic question, even I think I'll fail physics now. It was in class 12 actually, this one. This Earth age, I've already forgotten. Moon and Earth are almost equal age. And it's some billion, I don't know how many, you may be correct, 6 or 7 billion years. So old Earth, as per science, people say, the biblical, this is theologians, okay? Here we are talking about theology. So as per many theologians who believe in the old Earth theory, Earth is, as per science, maybe 6-7 billion years old. And if Earth is 6-7 billion years old, they agree that Big Bang may be correct and universe is 13 billion years old. 13 billion years old. And the young Earth, as our brother Alain has said, young Earth, many people in the olden days, before science, before physics, if you remember, during like Galileo and Copernicus time, they used to say that Earth is just maybe 5,000 years old or 6,000 years old. How they came to it, it was a very unscientific method, my point of view, but I don't know. How they calculated it was just from Adam to the present generation. They just calculated because genealogies are given, right? How many minutes? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? 10 minutes? No, I will finish before 10 minutes. On the slides. 5 minutes, I'll finish. So, what was I saying? Young Earth. So as per genealogy, right? Everybody knows father, son. So I don't know. It's not scientific. Just a guess that maybe one father to one son is 30 years, or age is given. So there's somehow some people have calculated. And as Alan has come in front, how many years you grow? Younger? 6,000. Okay, 6,000 years. Okay. And physics guy, you have not finished the Google? Huh? 7? No. There's an exact age, right? 7.5. Huh? 4.6. Don't be scared, I'm playing your test. I mean, Google doesn't take even milliseconds to do. So anyway, whatever, it's 5 billion, 6 billion years. So as Alang is in front, I would like to finish quickly. But it was 5 to 7. It was 5 to 7. So it's not yet 7. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, fine. I'll quickly rush through. So basically, I hope you all understood, right? Both are biblical. One is older, one is younger. Among older, there are three theories: gap theory, day-age theory, evolution theory. Among younger, there is a frame theory, there is a 6-day theory. Next, quickly we'll go. We'll just say few seconds each. Gap theory, very easy. It says that between Genesis 1 and Genesis 1-2, there is a gap of billions of years. Because because God first created the heavens and the earth, and then God started creating the earth. So if you go to, according to our physics guy, 13 billion years ago God created the universe. Then earth was started being built at 4 or 5 billion years. So this is gap theory. Next. Theology creation, this is day-age progressive creation. What it says is that in the Bible, in the Genesis chapter 1, what day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, it is actually not earth day. Okay? Because if you use your logic, earth was not created, right? Before day 1. So how can there be a day which is earth day? So if you have read Peter verse 2 Peter verse 3:8, where it says, with the Lord a day is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years like a day. So that day may not be earth day. And I also think that's the correct view. Earth was not created, so how can it be earth day? So the day-age theory says, is as per theologians, you will find in theology book, Genesis 1:1, 10 million years, and then Genesis 1 from after 1:2 again, that is the creation of earth. And then in this theory, the additional point is those days are actually not earth days; those are eras, and that is 4 billion, so around 14 billion or 13 billion, whatever it is. Next, quickly we'll go through. That is the evolution point of view in theology, which says that there are two views: deistic and ID. ID means intelligent design. You will hear this word a lot. Dan Brown talks about intelligent design. Here it says that God just created the Big Bang, and then He didn't do anything. The evolution, it happened like it's saying. If you read, you will read more. God, the laws of science were created by God, so the evolution happened as God intended, and there is that called intelligent design. Like God Himself created the theories of science, and evolution was the natural part. So next. This is the literary framework. It's not visible here properly. This is a young Earth theory. Okay, we were seeing the old Earth theory. This is a young Earth theory. This theory says that you remember young Earth is only 6,000 years old. This is as per literary, or English sister literature, right? English literature or only English? Okay, English literature. So here it says it's a literary framework. Means Genesis chapter 1 is just a literature. Just say that it doesn't have chronology, doesn't have time. It's just that the writer who that is Moses, as per tradition, he was writing as a literature. He was not writing science. So he was not writing about chronology or days. Next. This is the most traditional viewpoint. Creation in Genesis 1-2. It says it's 1 day, 24 hours. And you have read, I made you all read Genesis chapter 1. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, what God did. So this is the most traditional and literal interpretation of the Bible. It says it is actually earth day. Next. This is the end of universe. So our physics guy was saying he knows that there is end of universe. I showed you in cosmology. Scientists agree that there is an end of universe. And I'll ask my commerce friend, last quiz. How many years after is the universe ending as per physics?
22 billion.
Wow. You passed. I don't know physics guy what happened, but you passed in physics. 22 billion years later, no? As per scientists' prediction, the universe will disappear. That is the big theory. And as per Bible also it is correct. Though Jesus has told we don't know when it will happen, though it may be 22 billion years, that may be correct. So there's two verses, that is Revelation and 2 Peter again. Revelation 21:1. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there is no longer any sea. That says, the Bible says this present universe will vanish, as we have read in 2 Peter chapter 3. But unlike science, in cosmology, the Bible says there will be another new heaven and earth. There will be another recreation. So last proper slide. Like how many minutes I have? Counter? Finished? 2 minutes? 1 minute? 30 seconds? You should keep a counter, no? I can see. This is the summary, okay? Synthesis I call it. Chemistry student? Any chemistry student? Yeah? They're all hiding now, okay? No quiz. So this synthesis of 3 subject topics, literature, science, theology, in my topic. So Dan Brown, I wanted to tell you, or you should be aware of culture. His book Origin, he talks about intelligent design. But he's more of agnostic. He says it may be God, it may not be God, but evolution is a fact and it is intelligent design. You can read more. Science, cosmology, creation is Big Bang and is Big Rip and Crunch. 22 million years, as my brother is correct. The Bible says creation, and my viewpoint and many theologian viewpoint is day-age creation. If you remember, the reason is I know I have gone through some of the books, and Millard Erickson is one of the main theology books. His book is called Christian Theology. It is the textbook in all the Baptist seminaries and Pentecostal seminaries, like Assembly of God, mostly in US and all over. He is of the view of day-age creation. So older, 14 billion years was correct, and new heaven and earth. So unlike science, which says universe will end, then they don't know what happened. But theology says yes, universe will end, and there will be a new heaven and earth after the second coming. So everybody knows that. So next. Why I told was, if you read book of Job, chapter 38 to 40, there God Himself tells about His creation, and Job, he fell down. He said, "I'm unworthy." And why I told this message, today's letter was, you'll be speechless before Almighty. If you see the video, you'll realize you're nothing. We are so tiny, not even a dust. So just like Job responded to God, yes, I'm unworthy, I'm nothing. You're Almighty. So next, my references not visible here, but Millard Erickson Christian Theology, and some of the websites. You can ask Alain for the PDF or PPT, he'll forward it. And then next, thank you. Alain, am I on time? Did I cross?